Just thinking about all my nights, just dreaming about always just praying about if I had one wish, I wish this dream was true. And if I had somewhere to go, I hope it was with you. Pack my bags up anyway, ready for this travel. Fill my truck with all our stuff, picking up some gravel. If I had one wish, I wish this dream was true. I spend my time on my knees, just praying for you. I spend my time on my knees, just praying for you. I spend my time. Yes, I will. Lord, 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 Lord. That's what I do. Spend my time with the rain. Spend my time right there with you. Said I'll be answer you. I'll do your will. Yes, I will. I beg you. Don't you leave. Said I beg you. Don't you leave. Yeah. On my knees. Go ahead. Down on my knees. Go ahead, baby. Come on, let's go. Let's fly away. Come on, let's go. Come on, girl. I need you. Yes, I do. I'm on my knees. Yes, I am. I'm on my knees. Yes, I am. Take my hand. Take my hand.
Hi.
I'm Maddie's friend.
Charlie.
Oh, you got a little thing in your mouth right now.
So sorry about that.
Max, I got a speaker for them today. Bring the speaker in.
Yes.
So Max, I need to connect you.
Max. Just sitting right here, my friend Josh. He knows everyone more than I do. So he's looking for Max, actually. Easy, nice.
You can't exactly say on the stage that we are alive, etc.
Austin, Texas, what's going on?
Check.
Make some noise for DJ Shani! I don't hear y'all. Make some noise for DJ Shani! You hear him?
Let's go.
South Carolina slave charter, Alabama backwoods church shack falling. I want to hear an American call.
I mean, yeah, we're fine. I think it's okay audio anyway.
Families and cardboard
It's pretty loud.
boxes, kings on the
As long as I don't actually talk to people.
I want to hear some American shit, some American poetry, some about veterans of Italians, of Jews, of
Man, that sounds like my president right there. That sounds like your president. That sounds like my president. That's what it sounds like. That sounds like America to me right there. That's what it sounds like.
Hey, you, where are all the American films about
We had like 3 or 4 different like
faces on color TVs? I want to hear an American poem, an American poem that's
I'm gonna ask y'all to move up. Move on up. Move up here. Move up here. All of y'all underneath the tent, ain't no rain coming down. You're sitting over there. The bar ain't going nowhere. You gotta move on in. You gotta move up. You don't have any kind of impairments. You should be up there with us. But you should be. If you got impairments, take care of yourself.
And I have this. Oh,
Yeah,
by the
I
way,
got the impairment of
I have a
children.
camera holder in the tripod bag.
Come on up.
I
Come
can
on
make
up.
I mean, my phone. Actually.
That's right. Come on up.
So there's actually one there.
Come on.
We need that as a backup. And I already logged in.
Ain't gonna change nothing sitting on a picnic bench. You gotta move up. You gotta move on up. That's how you move things. That's how you change things. Right? My man with the hat. Yes. Excuse me. I like you. You gotta reappropriate, as they say. You gotta take it back, change it up. You know we're about to get this done right here tonight, this afternoon. But we are riding against the storm. Love to see our people in the building forever as always. We make some love for DJ Shiny right quick. We got a few songs for y'all because we like to get the party going, you know what I'm saying? There's all types of ways to party, and you can party with a purpose. Y'all ready to party with a purpose? That's what we do. We party for the spirit, we party for the change, we party for the people. That's what we do. Riders against the storm, you know what I mean? I think we're getting started right now. So the first song we're going to do is an oldie but a goodie. And it's not really, it's about yourself and how you show up in the room. It's about your character. Whether or not you have a piece of paper that declares your proficiency or what you're capable of, it's about how you emanate when you come into a room, that everybody recognizes it. That's called character. And so this song is called No Resume, because I don't need a resume. I don't need a resume.
Somebody say true. True. Say justice. Justice. Say love. Love. Say true. True. You say justice. Justice. Say love. Love. Come on. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah. So when I step into the room and a few of them surprised, you all up in my face, barely look me in my eyes. Sat down and asked me why I feel qualified to teach in the school. I smiled and said, "He's mine." Ain't no teachers without students in the youth. Don't take no genius and no ass in the secrets in me. It's outdated like most of the folks behind that desk, and they ain't got a change. Just connect the fat checks up, act like babysitters and eat us with the rat. Complaining about our youth and the doctor. I got a PhD, man, the cyber rap. Making something out of nothing. Taking all these got the last of the living quick hustles to make ends meet. Because we don't hustle, man. We don't eat. I went to college, I be needing. Ready survive. And our honors in the bachelor's. Working 9 to 5 for what? To follow orders and early in the line. I want youth out of the box, thinking deep about your American dream. Big poet. In his eyes glazed over like a host and apple pie. Started looking over confused and a little bit scared. Stood up and shook my hand with some tension in the air. Put a broken like a body. This is what I said. Don't need no resume to represent me. I say what? Don't need no resume to represent me. Don't need no resume to represent me. Don't need no resume to represent me. Don't need a damn resume to represent me. I'm not a credit to my race without credit. And I'm the ball. I take up the ball. PhD whipping the call. I said power is peace. People say I am resolved. And the lions are open to you when the soul is a job. Come on. Tired of oppressing people just to get a good job. Look what is the cause. For life is laws. The supervisor overseer. Now reports to the board. There's some people around. Cut your hair, lay it down. Your clothes are colorful. African clown. I'm a warrior. I'm a reason that I'm here to get down. I'm a artist. I'm a harvest. I'm a soul from the ground. I'm a vibe. I'm a rapper. I'm a rider. I'm a hey, it's a structure. Goodbye. Those and it goes and the clothes and the century. The bank account was full. But your soul. A resume can never represent me. Say what? Resume can never represent me. Resume can never represent me. Resume can never represent me. Yo, do y'all need a resume? Say hell no. Do y'all need a resume? Do y'all need a resume? Do y'all need a resume? Hey! Do y'all need a resume? Do y'all need a resume? Do y'all need a resume? Hey! Do y'all need a resume? Do y'all need a resume? Hey! My ghetto, my hustling, my struggling, surviving, we brilliant, creating, move on, yeah, we strong, yeah. My ghetto, my hustling, my struggling, surviving, we brilliant, creating, move on, yeah. Living in the ghetto, gotta learn how to forgive. I'm so pro-faceted. All of them suburban kids gotta deal with grudges and no family. Gotta take a turntable, turn it into instrument. Gotta take a couple balls, stretch it into platinum. Something out of nothing quick, on a daily hustling. And they sell a fish plates, so they can pay the rent. And it's off the work on Monday, 2,000 minimum wages. They raising, wages wasn't all. I break the pressure. and guess what trickle down economics. We running in the Olympics and we running from others. The city got a pocket missing. Chicks from the lobby. They call me like a concrete, like I'm just truly hard. It's impossible with their clocks ready to stop. Like I'm watching them playing on the block. Ain't got no fear of monsters in their closet. Up in their closet.
Snapshot, let me smack and
Hopscotch, hot basket, we block. Hostile, we pass the
trees like a breeze that
walks and follow.
like
The breeze that's walking, Illuminati, center, deep, dark spots, we
touch the sun with
hydraulic shots, we
T-H-double-T.
Oh.
So when they get a
People.
I get the purple
People.
with perfect people, seeing the service people, we honor the earth people, who done with the murder people, fire the hurt people, melanin perfect people, cowards among us, the hours among us,
my ghetto, people, my hustling, my struggling, surviving, we're brilliant, creative, we strong, my ghetto, my hustling, my struggling, surviving, we're brilliant, creative, we got one bag of rice and 3 cans of beans. Throw in a little soap for the seasoning. Keeping the family alive and find no easy thing. Let's kiss it. Watch the car go by with shiny thing. When the window dreaming, he can find like Joe Marine. In the mirror pretending she got golden diamond. But all she got right now to hold a bag of onion rings. Sipping the cola soap a bottle like you want champagne. Walking in the living room like runway cause she practicing. To be the next Tyra Banks with like a pencil thing. Brothers laughing, hanging out the window, feeling the wind. You ain't about to never leave, you just a ugly thing. Use the glasses, keep that never head. And when I see you like an African on TV with that lady starving.
forget what you say, I'm an African queen, and you black like me, so why you love
Hey,
me?
hey.
We got a history that
We can take pride in,
but
hey.
then I went home
Just where you reside, so you ride it.
I'm black woman,
Where you can find it, reach you, feast you, and record time it.
leave it together.
We here recorded, reminded, we were designing, I'm always rising. Hey, hey, my ghetto, my hustling, my struggling, surviving, we brilliant, creative, yeah, we strong, yeah, my ghetto, my hustling, my struggling, surviving, we brilliant, creative, yeah, we strong,
Y'all ready for this? Y'all better try to help me out. Take that toe! Take that toe! Yeah, ghetto. Yeah, ghetto.
clap your hands, come on, clap your hands, hey, hey, hey. Make some noise, y'all! I take this jacket off, huh? We don't have a DJ tonight, so till this morning, this afternoon. What time is it? I don't know.
Here's the thing, is the most degraded places are where you find the most innovation.
Right.
You find, you love, what music do you love? You love jazz? That's where it came from.
Ghetto.
You love reggae music? That's where it came from.
Ghetto.
You love hip hop? That's where it came from.
Ghetto.
It's a bedrock for innovation. It's not just a place to go in and help the poor people. It's a place
That's
where
right.
you can go in and find some of the most brilliant minds
Jeez.
that are going to help activate the world we need today. That's always been the case. It's always been the case.
You already know. You want a few more songs, y'all? You want a few
Y'all want a few
more?
more?
Okay.
We're gonna do a few more songs for y'all. Oh my gosh. Look at all the people coming in. I like this. Nice Tuesday afternoon. Going up on a Tuesday. Isn't that what they say? It's up on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Say what?
It's like
Lightning.
lightning. That's how we striking their mind up and down, how we shopping it.
Shopping it.
Taller than an obelisk, moving the promises. Music is the weapon, so we polish it.
College shit.
Nourishment. That's what we bring to the people, man. Encouragement. From the cities to the meadows and the villages. Phenomenal, we like the dollar in the worries head. Because we handle it. The one on my shoe pile up in my Don't want no computer chips up in my brain. Don't want to hear songs that's on the radio. Just want to sit by the river and maintain. Don't want no mushroom clouds up in my salad. Don't want no computer chips up in my brain. Don't want to hear songs that's on the radio. Just want to sit by the river and maintain. The time is very real, but we can't go nowhere. We gotta step ahead, I gotta have no fear. I feel this with shit, cause yeah, we know the tear. That's why we know the tear, that's why we know the tear. The time is very real, but we can't go nowhere. We gotta step ahead, I gotta have no fear. I feel this with shit, cause yeah, we know the tear. That's why we know the tear, that's why we know the tear.
Tell me I broke your heart.
You hit my heart, pull my card,
Shatter my mind.
pull me apart.
I'm happy that you did it because all is forgiven.
Happiness should never be a correct religion.
I'm gonna prove as I pay my dues. Not a few under my complacent
Hey,
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 no one has to pass. Divided, sudden excited. We're not the right. We start enlightened. We are excited. We want to fight it. We start excited.
don't even try it.
I'm back with you
Without cause,
I'm here with you
because I am long gone.
Sorry, never name. Before you take the text, read between the lines on your face.
Hey, space is the place for your praise high. Space is the place for your. The time is very real, but we ain't going nowhere. We gotta stay right here. I gotta have no fear. I feel this we will share. Cause yeah, we know the tear. That's why we know the tear. That's why we know the tear. The time is very real, but we can't go nowhere. We gotta stay right here. I gotta have no fear. I feel this we will share. Cause yeah, we know the tear. That's why we know the tear. That's why we know the tear. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
That's mean it. Oh, let's go.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a very real, but we can't go nowhere. We gotta stay right here, and we gotta have a fear. I feel this we will share, cause yeah, we know the tear. That's why we know the tear. That's why we know the tear. The time is very real, but we can't go nowhere. We gotta stay right here, and we gotta have a fear. I feel this we will share, cause yeah, we know the tear. That's why we know the tear. That's why we know the tear.
So,
You want to know? How you feel about that? You want to do magic?
no.
Y'all want to hear a song called Magic?
You want to hear? Let's ask them. You want to hear a song called Magic? It takes a little magic.
Okay.
When you're trying to make things change, you've done everything you could possibly do. You gotta wait on a little magic.
Okay. So we're gonna do this one. When we finish y'all, we want y'all to say magic. Okay. Y'all ready? Okay. 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 Okay.
This is the good thing about having a day party. Nobody is tipsy. You can follow instructions. It's good. It's a good thing.
One more time. All right, let's go.
All right.
DJ Shaka. Bing bong. Hey.
20 points to y'all. Don't sleep. You ready? Energy, memory, frequency, get with me. Galaxy, fantasy, destiny, ecstasy. Energy, memory, frequency, get with me.
Magic.
Galaxy, fantasy,
Magic.
destiny, ecstasy.
Magic.
Slow down and travel away. Slow down and over, grabbing over what you're told of, who's making you no mistake. It's the spirit, wrap the turf nearer. Earth with the flip of broken mirrors.
Go ahead and let it slip.
Suck you back to the void. I'm attacking your noise. Bump that, retract.
Move forward.
Sleep is no refuge. I party with your eyes shut. Play with the prismatic
There's your
matter.
answer.
Born in Brooklyn with the concrete. Imagine it. Shaking butts, raising up Lazarus. Can you imagine it? Can you fathom it? Hit lift, everything alive. The pressure, debris has you up on
Your knee.
Transform into altar. Learn who the caller. Laws can be altered. Cause for the power. Cross for the water.
We be
Gifted and lost.
magic.
Energy, memory, let it be. Frequency, get with me. Galaxy, fantasy. Destiny, ecstasy.
Magic.
Energy, memory.
Magic.
Frequency, get with me.
Magic.
Galaxy, fantasy.
Magic.
Destiny, ecstasy, let it be.
lightning, a gram and a fire. A feather from an eagle's wing, the mane of a lie. A needle on a record and a thread of raw rhyme. A cornerstone of riddle, refuse the main lie. The breath of an angel, eggshells and wine. Precious is the essence and express is divine. The tail of a panther, the claw of a bear. Teaspoon of ayahuasca for the vision past the bear. A hidey hope from Callaway, root from that man. The papers are vanilla, put the fragrance in the smell. 1,000 roses born from the concrete to hell. Familiar voices echoing the ready to compare. The wisdom of the owl, the soul, the Mayfield. The boogie and the praise, the strength, the cold steel. The rhythm of the saints, the chant, the make you feel. The prayer, the remedy, the recipe to heal we go. Magic!
Frequency, get with me. Galaxy, fantasy.
Magic!
Destiny is the same.
Magic!
Galaxy, memory.
Magic!
Frequency, get with me.
Magic!
Galaxy, fantasy.
Magic! Magic!
Find your magic. Find it out. What you imagine. Open up and that's it. Energy, memory.
Magic!
Frequency, get with me.
Magic!
Galaxy, fantasy.
Magic!
Destiny is the same.
Magic!
Energy, memory.
Magic!
Frequency, get with me.
Magic!
Galaxy, let it be.
Magic! Magic! We got one more for y'all. You want one more? You want one more? Okay. This side, the left side, is my side over here. This is where the party's at. Make some noise, party's at. Okay. When I point at y'all, you're going to say bass drop. Y'all ready? But like, bass drop. You ready? All right, we
You gotta
got
put some bass in
it.
it. So my side, when I point to you all, including people at the picnic table. You want to party at the picnic table? I'm all right with that. So when I point to you, picnic party. So when I point to y'all, you're going to say soul shot. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, my folks. All right, this is our last one. Supposed to be able to get down on this one, but I my ankle is doing things. So Shaka might get down, and I'll show you alternate movements. That's it.
You want to get low?
Don't need to make it look easy. Y'all get so fresh and 3D. We light on the pedal like sweet tea. Roll swag, believe me. Gotta be freaky. Sound like I'm retreating. Hey, 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 creator. Man, when I'm just wrong, we got lights to rock the spot. The shit is high. We gotta go back to the I got you doing. We set the mood. Reflect the news. Reflect the news.
Bass drop.
And a song. 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 When the lights show up, give you a song that makes you feel real alive. When the lights show up, give you a song that makes you feel real alive. And it's all, and a thought, and it's all, and a thought, and it's all, and a thought. Let's go.
But this ain't like who humble boys. You never play games, I just love them all. He's like in the bottle because I am the source. Keep everything lit like a bucket of jaws. Some of the stadium coming baby balls. I'm flat cuts on the chainsaw. I'm stepping on the paper like spiritual. To the sidewalk, come on, we on the scene. You want to see what's you want to say so, go ahead. In the same spot,
I'm worried about if I have to interview you.
We blues with the jazz with the soul shot. We got so sharp like an oak.
Oh.
Drove out so fast for the bass shot.
And it don't quit, and it don't stop, and it don't quit, and it don't stop, and it don't quit, 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 quit.
Bass shot.
And I'm gone, and it's on, and I'm gone,
Hear it.
and it's on, and I'm gone, and it's on, so shot. When the lights show up, give you a song that makes you feel alive. When the lights show up, give you a song that makes you feel
Bass shot.
and it's so, and I'm gone, and it's so, and I'm gone, and it's so, and I'm gone, and it's so.
Make some noise for yourselves, y'all. We riding against the storm.
I don't think. Okay, I'll just put it in.
Thank you. Damn.
This is that.
Brother Wes,
It's interesting.
Dr. Cornel Wes.
It appears to be the right size.
Give thanks, give thanks. I'm just saying, I hope y'all are ready for change. Everything that we've been about is about change, and we're here because we are looking for change, right?
Yeah.
It takes time to change. It takes time to change.
Yeah.
It takes time to change, but it's worth it.
We're going back into the music, DJ Shiny. Okay, we're going back into some music. We'll be back, y'all. Make some noise. Thank you.
Check.
Hey, Austin, welcome to the stage, Haitham El Zabri.
Greetings, y'all. I'm Haitham. I'm gonna shift the mood a little. Sorry, but Gaza. We don't know the casualty number. With hospitals being obliterated, children being blown to shreds, mass graves being found, entire neighborhoods turned into rubble, with residents trapped under near impossible conditions for rescue. It is impossible to know the true number of casualties. Starvation is rampant. How many surviving lives have been destroyed, their bodies amputated, hearts broken, orphans made, trauma stamped into their souls, and our souls too. Let us please take a moment of silence for all of these precious lives lost. All of this horror is made possible by the US government. A government whose allegiance is to corporate America and its financial interests that trump human life, animal life, and even the planet we leave behind for future generations. Our pleas to a government invested in the interests of those corporations at our expense are ignored, and we see the price paid dearly for it in blood, pain, and tears every day here in the US and more so across the globe. We know this, and this is why we're here. If we want a better world, we must strengthen our morals, our vision, and our determination. We must be willing to make great sacrifices. There's simply no other choice anymore when the lesser of the evils supports genocide and suppresses the will of the public. We just cannot continue to go along with the lesser of the evils, for what can be worse than supporting genocide? We have to strengthen our convictions, be bolder in our voting choices, and be fearless enough to carry out direct action. Direct action is the only way forward, in my view, and we are seeing more and more of it erupt here in the US and around the world. Yesterday, in more than 60 cities, in 18 countries, citizens of conscience executed plans of disruption. Yep, A15. That significantly impacted the operations of their local economic logistical hubs, impacting the flow of capital internationally. This was a coordinated strike carried out with planning and intention by comrades across the globe in a movement known as A15. Here in Central Texas, activists from Austin joined with San Antonio and indigenous organizers to shut down Valero Energy headquarters.
Valero is directly complicit in genocide, as it supplies JP-8 jet fuel for the Israeli military's helicopters, fighter jets, and tanks that are being used as we speak to mass murder Palestinian men, women, and children. We had more than 20 activists chaining ourselves to the road entrances leading to Valero headquarters, risking arrest and criminal charges. Even bolder actions were carried out by activists across the US and globally. The impact of this coordinated global action resulted in millions of dollars of loss to the capitalist system. And we're here again. In our voting choices, it is time to resist and confront the two-party system. It is time to put our weight behind someone who represents us, the people, and shares our values of truth, justice, and love. We are at a pivotal moment where we need to be bold, where we need to collectively join hands and unite behind a radical alternative to the two parties. We are fortunate to have that in my esteemed brother, Dr. Cornel West. Imagine if all minorities and all people who want a better world united together and put our weight behind Dr. West. Even if we don't win this time, we will be much, much stronger. As a Palestinian, I ask you to disrupt the status quo. Don't accept to simply sit back and passively vote for the lesser of two evils. We are stronger together as a collective, and we can demand change. Our inaction allows this broken complicity in genocide, and instead we can choose to support truth, justice, and love. Free Palestine.
Please welcome to the stage, Mark Miclemore.
Check. Maybe I guess this was good. I ain't standing behind the podium. You don't mind if I just walk around a little bit? How's everybody feeling? Feel good? All right, let me first say this is surreal to me. And I have to say that this is an icon, this is a legend, this is a revolutionary warrior. This is someone that is progressive, that wants the best for everybody, right? For everybody. Fairness, justice, equality. And I never thought in my wildest dreams I would be sharing the stage with this man. So I want you to hear from me. I appreciate you. I love you. And just keep doing what you're doing. Don't stop. Don't stop. Okay, so with that being said, some of you are saying, who is this guy? Right? I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a screenwriter, I'm a humorist, and most importantly, I'm a black man. And a couple of days ago, I'm gonna just be honest. I always have been told when you're speaking, just speak from the heart, right? Just be honest. I was asked a couple of days ago to come and talk about what it's like to be a black man in Austin. I'm a black man. And thus, what it's like being a black man in America, race and racism and discrimination. So I'm going to share a story with you. And this story is the first time I've ever said it publicly to anybody because it's very personal. And it's the first time that I encountered racism. It's the very first time in my life when I encountered racism. So to give you kind of a visual, a mental visual, I grew up in Indianapolis, Indiana, Klan Central, okay? Then moved to California, and then now I'm here in Texas. So it's about 10 to 15 years in each state. But I was 12 years old, and my first girlfriend. I want you to think about your very, very first love, okay? Whoever that man or woman or whoever it is, just think of that first love. I was 12 years old, Okay, and at the time, we would write letters, right? Little love letters to each other. Now, this was a Caucasian female, all right, in Indianapolis. She liked me, I liked her. Everything is about what? Who loves you and who you love, right? That's what love's supposed to be, right? So, and I've dated across the spectrum. Let me just say that. Black, white, Asian, Latino, I've dated across the spectrum. So, I wrote her a bunch of love letters, and I'm going somewhere with this. I'm going to tie this at the end. If you trust me, it's going to make sense. It's going to make sense to what the message is here today. So I went up to her house and rode my bike. I was going as fast as I could, knocked on the door like I usually did, and she comes out with this Nike shoebox. And the Nike shoebox, I'm like, oh, she got me some shoes. Like, that's weird. So I open it, and it's every single love letter that I ever wrote her was in this shoebox. And it was at least 40 or 50 letters. And you know, I used to fold them, put them in nice little designs. Do you love me? Yes. If you love me, say. She gave me every single love letter back. And I was in shock. I'm 12 years old. I'm like, what is going on? She said, I can't date you anymore. We can't see each other anymore. And I'm like, why? What did I do? Well, and she had a hard time saying it. My dad doesn't like you. I'm like, I don't even know your dad. What did I do? Well, it's because you're black. And mind you, at 12 years old, I'm like, I know I'm black. What's that got to do with anything? Right? And she said, I know, but you got to take it. You got to go. It's over. I can never talk to you again. I was crushed. And it was so devastating. And I still, even to this day, when I think about it too long, it's hard to process because I didn't do anything. The only thing I did was exist, right? We mentioned Palestine, right? All these people are doing is existing and want to exist peacefully. So that was an injustice, okay? That was an injustice and I could do nothing about because that was that man's heart. He drew a conclusion about me and did not know me, okay? Now we talk about what I couldn't do as a child when it came to injustice. And we're gonna fast forward to the DEI initiative at UT, okay? And how that has been obliterated by the governor, okay? Obliterated, diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's another injustice. But see, now I'm grown. See, I have a voice now. I can come together now with like-minded individuals who sees an injustice like we all are witnessing, and we can stand together and we can lend our voice, we can organize, and we can do something about it. Right? Right? That's progressive, right? That's what Dr. Cornel represents. Progressiveness, challenging the status quo, speaking truth to power. And that's what everybody walking around, not just here, but in this city has a responsibility and an obligation to do. So, I appreciate you letting me share that story. And I want every one of you to think to yourself, what is it that I'm scared to talk about when it comes to race, discrimination, prejudice, alienation, disenfranchisement? Embrace the fear, because I'm petrified up here sharing this with you. I'm just being honest, but I know that if one person hears that and they either change their mind about something or somebody, and they embrace somebody, they refrain from harboring certain feelings, negative feelings, then it was worth me being vulnerable and exposing myself like that. So, thank you. I appreciate your time. Dr. West, I appreciate you. You're going to go on, become president. I just want to add my name to the list to visit to the White House. And I love you, my brother. I love you. Thank you.
Please put your hands together for Bashir Jones.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. First and foremost, we thank the Creator for another day of life. Despite what's going on in our lives, it's a blessing to have life. We are grateful for that. And also just grateful to be in the presence of such conscious people who are here to support a man who has consistently been a voice of the voiceless. If you agree with that, make some noise right now. If that's why you're here. My name is Bashir Jones, originally from Brooklyn, New York, out of Cleveland, Ohio. And first time here in Austin. And as I look out into the crowd, this is what America is. This is what America is. And what I appreciate about Dr. West and spending some time with him is how much he loves the people. You know, one of the quotes I heard him say a long time ago was that you can't lead the people unless you love them. And as he engages with people all across the country, there's always this sincere love. And that's what we're missing right now. He says nothing more dangerous than a hopeless people. People just feel hopeless. As you look on the news and you see what's happening to our brothers and sisters in Palestine and Palestine, our brothers and sisters in Congo, in Sudan, in China, but also our brothers and sisters in Chicago, in Cleveland, in New York, right here in America, what we're experiencing. So what Dr. West represents and has always represented, Jay-Z said a line a long time ago, you are who you was before you got here. And the fact that he has been consistent in this path long before his thoughts of running for president should say a lot about who he is. Now, I know that you listen to the pundits, and recently as I was discussing with him, you see this CNN interview, and they want to try to put this giant into a box. And no matter how much they try to put him into a box, he becomes even more consistent about what he believes and what he stands for. That's not easy. It's not easy. I asked him a question, why would you want to do this? As a person who wasn't a former elected official, like, why would you choose to make yourself a target? And the crazy part about it is that this is no choice. If it was a choice, who would choose that? But when it's been chosen for you, you have no choice. And many of you can relate to it. Many of you can relate to being pulled towards a cause that you found yourself not really wanting to do, but there was no option in it. You had to do it. You see, some people say, well, Dr. West, what is the consequences of your words? We know what the consequences of freedom fighters here in America. We understand what those consequences are. The physical, the earthly consequences. The attack on your profession. You know, putting a halt to your resources. Sometimes physical assassination. Most times, initially, assassination of character. So we know the physical consequences of being a freedom fighter. You know it. You could not be here and love Dr. West unless you recognize something in him that's already in you. It's in you. He's a mirror to you. So there's spiritual consequences in words. But what's deeper is, what is the spiritual consequences of silence? I want you to reflect upon that. If you have fear of what man can take from you, and not fear of giving the gift of what God has put into you, then you looking at it the wrong way. Are y'all with me? Yeah. You see, the Most High has given each and every one of us a gift, but it ain't a gift unless you give it away. If you don't give away the gift that God has given you, then it can become a curse upon your life. Because you're holding on to something that don't even belong to you. It belongs to whoever it is that you're talking to. So Dr. West is not doing this for himself. He's doing this for a greater cause, for a greater reason. And it's imperative for you and I always say to myself, we always say, what type of people will we have been during the times of slavery? Where would we have been when Dr. King was alive? We always say what we would have done back then. But you know what you would have done based upon what you're doing right now. That's how you know what you would have done. Because Dr. West is a part of the legacy of freedom fighters in this country. So he's not like a fruit off of a different branch of Dr. King and Fannie Lou Hamer. And as he always talks about, Coltrane. Right? He's a part of that legacy of freedom fighters, and you are as well. So I close with this. He's already successful. We understand from a spiritual perspective that when you are fighting for a cause that is greater than you, you may not be around for the harvest of the seeds, but it don't mean that the seeds can't be planted. The seeds must be planted because we eat from what they planted yesterday, and they will eat from what we plant today. So he is already successful.
Yes, sir.
And we're not going to get into the semantics and let CNN or MSNBC or any media make us determine what success is. Now, we want him to be successful. We want him to win. Not necessarily just for himself, but for us and for the future of America. But the question really is, what will you do to assist him in that? What is your responsibility in assisting him in this success? And this is the assistance that we need from you. Number one, we need for you to be on that social media and do not be silent. We need for you to push Dr. West, push his messages. When people are saying this, we need you to say that. We don't need you to be silent. Dr. King said there comes a time when silence is betrayal. So we need for you to use your social media platforms and share and like and push the message every time that you see Dr. West. And if you don't see him in your algorithm, go look for him and forward it. Please, we need that from you. The second thing is that we need you on the ground, right? Dr. West, he can only be in one place at one time, even with his brilliance. And he's able to time travel, of course, but physically, he can only be in one place. So you are an extension of him. We call it the snowflake effect. One person can reach 10 people. 10 people can reach 100. 100 can reach 1,000. That's what we understand, that the power has always been in the people. And this country would make us believe it otherwise, but they know the reality. This ain't about helping Trump win. This is about holding both parties accountable. And we're not going to allow them to use that narrative. Because what President Biden has done, man, I feel bad for his spirit. I feel bad for his spirit. What President Trump has done, I feel bad for their spirits. And for Dr. West to want to take this path, man, you gotta be praying for him, y'all. You gotta send some positive energy his way. I beg you to do that. And lastly is this. We need to make sure that we are supporting him financially. Now, everybody in here can or may not or not able to. We all are struggling. Listen, we all got issues, okay? If you say you don't, lie in your issue. So we all are going through something. We all are struggling. But together we can achieve something. So I want to ask you a question. If you can make a commitment whether it's a penny, right? When you plant a seed, you don't lose the seed, you gain the crops. When you plant a seed, you don't lose the seed, you gain the crops. So every resource that you put into this campaign, there are spiritual blessings coming your way because you're not just talking, you putting your money where your mouth is. So what I'm saying to you and to me, if you can make a commitment to give on a monthly basis to this campaign to ensure that we can at least, let's just get Dr. West to the debate stage. Because what's that going to look like? Can you imagine what that's going to look like? Dr. West and President Trump and President Biden, that's going to be amazing. That would be amazing. But we need your help to do it. We need your help to do it. If you can make a commitment on a monthly basis to make a donation to this campaign, raise your hand right now. Show Dr. West how much you appreciate him. Dr. West, I want you to look around real fast, Doc. Hold on, Max. Dr. West, just look around. If you can, on a monthly basis, I don't care if it's 1 penny, $1, if you can make a commitment to give to this campaign on a monthly basis, raise your hands high in the air, wave them around like you just don't care. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. So please, we beg you to make that commitment. It can't happen without you. It can't move without you. Make your prayers, volunteer, and put those dollars into the campaign. We need it so Dr. West can be successful. We really appreciate it. I want to bring up to the stage that amazing one half of the duo. If you enjoyed that amazing performance earlier today, make some noise right now. Make some noise. That was amazing. Riders Against the Storm. I want to bring up my brother Jonathan Shaka Mahone, who's the head chair of the Music Commission for the city of Austin, and one half of the duo Riders Against the Storm, founder and creative director of Dawah Hills, which is a nonprofit organization that honors, celebrates, and empowers the essential work of the BIPOC community, frontlining through direct financial support and culturally relevant health-centered programming. An amazing artist, man, him and that young lady, man, it was so amazing, man. I wish they could go on tour with us, Dr. West, man, just travel around the country with us. Once again, man, my name is Bashir Jones. I'm a senior advisor for Dr. West's campaign for the Muslim community and for everybody, man. I don't think we ain't just Muslims, we Christians, we Muslims, we atheists, we in all different walks of life. And we all striving to make a change in this community. I want to bring up my brother Jonathan, brother Shaka, where you at, man? Make some noise as you come to the stage. Make some noise, make some noise.
Ooh, Lord. Somebody say, we see you. We value you. We thank you. Your work is essential. We see you. We value you. We thank you. Your heart is a blessing. Say, we see you. We thank you. We value you. Your light gives us courage. My name is Shaka. I'm a lot of things. I'm a father. Make some noise. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a visual artist. I'm a lot of things in this world, but first and foremost, I'm a human. And I'm concerned, if I'm honest, I'm concerned when I look out at the landscape. My son is 2 years old. I'm very concerned about the future. Even though we know the future is just an echo of the present, what's going on right now in the present is horrifying. So as a human, this guy's a philosopher, a writer. As a philosopher, you got to ask the question, why? And what the F? And how? And you got to dig deep, and it's about finding your humanity in a situation that's it's like a horror show. When I think about the first boats that came to this country, talking about Puritanism, talking about a way of life, talking about a new world. And then the other boats that came brought people from the African diaspora to this country and all over the globe. Like the brother was saying, what are the boats now? What is the new world now? These things, prisons, these things, slavery has just changed names. It did not go away. And, you know, being a youngster, my parents were children of the civil rights movement. Our name, Riders Against the Storm, it comes from a group called, it's an all-female a cappella group. Their name was Sweet Honey in the Rock. You heard of them? So they have a song called Ella's Song, and they took words from Ella Baker, great ancestor, great spirit. And in the song, it talks about passing the torch to the young who will run against the storm. So what we do through our art, Riders Against the Storm, is we took that torch of humanity. And so this music that this gift that we bring to the community is not about fame. It's not about a stature. We're here, this brother is on the dance floor dancing with us. He's not more important than you. Barack Obama has no more meaning than you, right? But the ways that we've been programmed, some may say enslaved and directed, we have to be philosophers. We have to think about, where are the boats now? The brother said, where is the enslavement now? What's happening? And I say that to say we are living in a city called Austin. We moved here 14 years ago. And when we came here, this was a place, it felt like, we didn't know the undercurrents of the things that were coming. We didn't see the boats necessarily coming, but when we came here, the natives here, they told us the boats were coming. They told us about the displacement and the things that they had already experienced and what was on the horizon. And now we are living through that, struggling and living through that as Black people in this city, as people of color in this city. The displacement is happening more rapidly than any other city in the country. And we are faced with that. So, you know, if you're making music and it's not confronting that, it's not dealing with that, what are you doing? If you're making art and it's not challenging that, it's not getting people to turn and look at it, then what are you doing? That's just a question. So we face some very difficult, challenging. To me, the boats is this technology, this technocratic, whatever you want to call it, this energy that's coming into the city that's here now, that's embedded, is giving nothing back, and it's taking, it's extracting. We talked about the Congo. There is no cell phone, there is no computer, there is no none of that without the coltan that they're digging in the grounds in the Congo. These devices that we use every day are a part of the enslavement and the direct oppression of other people. And we have to get a grip on that. We have to start to look at that. We have to start thinking about alternatives. I know some of us are, but Austin is like at the forefront of something very dangerous, in my opinion. And so when I said we see you, we value, we thank you, it's about the recognition of the everyday essential people that are at the cusp of not even being able to stay in a city like Austin because of the power of this technology and this worship of technology over people and profit over people. We're familiar with this stuff, but we acting like there's not a slave ship attached to this. It's a spiritual war that we're battling, and there's a degree to which we're all numb to it. And it's hard. I said I'm a human. It's hard to maintain your humanity in a situation where every single day you're just stepping outside is a part of this enslaving practice. So my turning to that and facing myself as a human and dealing with that and confronting that led to me starting an organization called Dawa. At first, I didn't want to start an organization at all because the nonprofit industry is a whole other demon and beast in and of itself. Like this man is going to run for president. The government is the biggest criminal. Organized crime is what the government is. We know that. We know what the hell's going on. But here we are. We have to figure out what is our piece, what is our part in this. Dawah is my part. It's an offering. When we say we see you, we value, we thank you, that's real. I started it because when I moved to the city, it was affordable. But we still struggle daily. And without community, there was a time we were on food stamps here. There are people that brought food to our home and filled our refrigerator with groceries. There's a time we couldn't afford first and last month's rent. We stayed with people like Queen Dikla and others. They gave us places to stay during times of hardship. We would not have made it without that community. On the shirt it says community is our greatest technology. That's the truth. We have traded community for technology. This whole social media thing, it's a lie. There's more division now than when it started. They give you that seed. They say, this is the new world. This is what we're bringing. You're going to be able to communicate more across seas and across it. And then what do you end up deeper and deeper into a prison that you couldn't see, and then it's around you. So Dawah, diversity, awareness, and wellness in action was my response. And I don't want to say it's an answer because this development is so rapid and so powerful. It's not a strong enough solution at this moment, but it's an answer to how I can respond. In Swahili, Dawah means medicine. And I started it in 2019. Basically, I had no intention of starting an organization. What I wanted to do was to give back to the people that I know, my peers, the DJs, the artists, the poets, the creatives, the social workers, the healthcare providers, the teachers, the givers. And so I took it upon myself to just say, hey, we're going to throw some parties, we're going to do some events, we're going to raise some money, and then every time we get to $10,000, we're just going to give it away. But the pandemic happened, and George Floyd happened, and it seemed like money was just flying everywhere. You remember that? It's just like everybody had a conscience just sitting at home. I was going to go to Cozumel. I guess I'll throw this money over here. We got $40,000, $50,000, and it seemed like a couple days, but it was a month. But all off of just a small website and Instagram page, and just an idea that we should be giving back to this specific community. So since that point, we've given almost $300,000 to this community. We have a studio in East Austin. On Tuesdays and Wednesdays, you can come in there, you can record for free if you're a BIPOC artist and creative. If you're a BIPOC-led organization, you come in there and record a podcast. You come in and do whatever you want. We have the space for it. If you're a BIPOC-led organization, we have space for you. If you're someone that just wants to have an event, we have space for you. Okay, it's about building community because it's not just a slogan on a t-shirt. It's like we really believe that. And it's harder and harder these days with the demands of society to maintain. It's work to maintain community. It's work. There has to be investment, and we're losing that. So Dawah is a piece of trying to maintain that understanding that we are the ones that are valuable. We are the ones that are essential. The people serving the drinks over there, none of this happens without them. But those are the ones that are struggling the most to be in this city that's growing. So we've given $300,000. We have a studio. We have a Black Live Music Fund, which is about creating space specifically for Black musicians to thrive in this city. We're going to be making an announcement about that very soon. And we have a project called Vision 8291, which is about taking that moment, which basically music built, but now technology owns, where everyone comes here and worships technology for a week. You know what it's called? It's called South by Southwest. We take that moment and we turn it into an opportunity to raise funds so we can give back to BIPOC-led grassroots organizations here in Austin. So that's part of what I'm doing with my time, besides hanging out with my son, besides being a partner to my wife, besides making music and making art. That's a piece of my life here in Austin. And I wanted to share that with you. This brother that I'm about to introduce, you're here because you already know who he is, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. But, he wrote a book in 1993, right? I remember that because I was in high school.
I guess I was a junior in high school, and I read it, and then I read it again. And you know how things when you read something when you're young, you're like, oh, I get it. But then a couple years later, you're like, oh, he was busting. This brother spit. I remember reading it. I think it was my freshman or sophomore year again in college, and race matters. It's simple. This is before Black Lives Matter. Race matters. We know that. Philosopher, author, poet. You know he was a dancer until a few minutes ago. You saw him? Ow! Because they get their cloud. He got a little couple steps. At 70, he ain't going nowhere. And we want to encourage the truth telling. We want to encourage the justice talk. We want to encourage the love talk. Right? This all takes commitment. Right? So I want to just thank you, Dr. West. Mr. West! Mr. West! For coming to our city. Right? For opening your arms, for inviting me and my wife to come out here and do a little something to share in this moment. And like the brother said, prayers are necessary because, this organized crime unit called the United States government, they don't sleep, man. They don't rest. And it's gonna take a lot of prayers and a lot of energy to surround him just to get you through. Forget about possibly even getting into that crazy place they call the White House. Ooh, Lord. But I thank you for just standing up and taking this time in your life when you could be. Where's Barack Obama right now? Where is he at? Like, where is he saying anything? He is chilling. He's feeling dope. This is crazy, man. At this time, with all these things going on, this man is speaking up. So we thank you, Dr. West. Make some noise. Say truth, justice, love.
Let's give it up for Chaka, 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 Chaka. Give it up for Sister Key, Sister Key. We talking about the greatest married couple in not just hip hop, but in the history of hip hop. Sister Key from Brooklyn and Brother Chaka from Pittsburgh. Before I acknowledge my dear sister DJ Shot. Oh, Lord, have mercy. But I just want to say personally that Bernice Reagan, who was the founder of Sweet Honey on the Rock, I was blessed to do many concerts with that group, that she is smiling right now when she hears the writers against the grave. She smiles. Oh, indeed. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out. I know you've been so very kind. You've been here for a good while. Some of y'all have been standing for a long time. But that's all right. Oh, my dear sister, indeed. No, we just got off the plane here, and I got a chance to see Brother Douglas. Where's Brother Douglas? And he's one of the volunteers. Raise your hand, Brother Douglas. Raise your hand. Where is your? He's probably working right now. Give it up for Brother Max. Where's Brother Max? There he is. Anytime I get a chance to spend my time with Brother Bashir. Oh, Brother Bashir, don't give it up for this brother. Lord, and all the voices, my dear Palestinian brother who began on such a profound You know, that juxtaposition between the music and the funk of the music, the polyrhythms of the music, the syncopation of the music, having everything to do with how you transfigure the suffering. How you confront the suffering in such a way that you end up so fortified and so ready to fight that the catastrophe never, ever, ever has the last word. You see, this campaign ain't nothing but a moment in the movement of a great tradition of a great black people who've been wrestling with being hated for 400 years, and they shall love warriors every generation. That's why I am unapologetic about being a love warrior. Oh yes, I don't listen to John Coltrane's Love Supreme for nothing. I don't listen to Stevie Wonder's Love in Need of Love for nothing. I don't listen to the OJ's Love Train for nothing. I don't read James Baldwin when he says love forces us to take off the mask. We know we cannot live within, but fear we cannot live without. Because when you love the people and when you love those friends phenomenal called the wretched of the people, that gives you a lens through which you view the world. It means you're going to keep track of the organized greed of predatory capitalist processes that will do anything for money, anything for profit, anything for revenue, and push out precious human beings whose basic needs are not being satisfied. It's about the lens through which you view the world. Yes, I come from a black people who've been terrorized for 400 years and keep dishing out freedom fighters and call not to terrorize back, but call for freedom for everybody. Meaning what? Yes, indeed, you got to resist. You resist with the best weaponry that you have, but you still put love at the very center of it, and therefore you try to somehow curtail and radically call into question all of the organized hatred and all of the organized greed and all of the organized cowardliness. And we're living at a time, we're living at a moment in which, as my brother was saying, it is so grim. It is so dim. But Malcolm X told us a long time ago that chickens come home to roost. You can't treat indigenous peoples as if they're less than human for 400 years and don't think there's not going to be some blowback. You don't treat working peoples with greedy bosses, generation after generation after generation, and don't think there's going to be some blowback. You don't treat the sisters with vicious patriarchal violence and hatred and contempt and don't think there's going to be some blowback. You don't treat our precious gay brothers and ladies and trans and don't think there's going to be some blowback. How come? Because those of us who still have the audacity to hold up the bloodstained banner of truth, and the condition of truth is always to allow suffering to speak, beginning with the least of these. I come out of a revolutionary Christian tradition of Shiloh Baptist Church and Irene B. West and Clifton West. That's mom and dad. I don't exist without them. I don't exist without Reverend P. Cook. Next to that church was the Black Panther Party. I don't exist without Huey Newton. I don't exist without Bobby Seale. I don't exist without Erica Huggins. I don't exist without Elaine Byrne. That's the tradition I choose to be a part of. And so, yes, it begins on the chocolate side of love, but it spills over to vanilla sides and other sides as well. But once you get yourself fortified in your own tradition, your own community, your ROOTS at its best, then your ROUTES and enables you to be an internationalist. That's why there's no way that I could not say a word about genocide in Gaza. How can I not be true to the best of my tradition? We said we charged genocide in 1951 with W.B. Du Bois and William Patterson and Paul Robeson. My God, we can see it with our very eyes. We would say the same thing to our Jewish brothers and sisters in the 30s. We would say the same thing to Armenians in the 1910s. We say the same thing Belgian Congo in the 1900s. It's a matter of morality. It's a matter of ethics. It's a matter of political courage. And we shouldn't even be congratulated if we didn't raise our voices or rocks would shout out. Part of the problem these days is that the American empire, there's been 70 empires since the beginning of species going back to Africa. The United States is number 68. And every empire peaks emerges, peaks, decline, decays, and usually the death throbs of that empire is its most base moment of criminality and immorality. It's hard for the country to come to terms with that, because each empire has its own specific histories of lying about itself to hide its crimes. But what is distinctive about the American empire is the claim to innocence. And there's a genius of Harlem named James Baldwin who wrote in The Fire Next Time, what is most disgusting about America is its claim to innocence when it is the authorizer of the devastation. That's the connection between what's going on in Gaza, where the American empire enables genocide, enables ethnic cleansing, enables apartheid-like conditions. And that's not the only place, but that's now the most visible place. That's the fundamental litmus test of whether one has a moral fiber at all, whether one has any soul left in one's social experiment. If we could ask our indigenous brothers and sisters, we right here in Texas, this used to be what? Mexico. The Mexican War was illegal, criminal, immoral. And there were indigenous peoples before the Mexican brothers and sisters got here. How do we keep track? Truth. Traditional truth is to allow suffering to speak. Then when we move to justice. Oh, you see, part of the problem in America is when you believe your innocence, then you always want deodorized discourses that hide the funk. See, I come from a black people who believe in funk masters. See, George Clinton ain't no joke. James Brown ain't a joke. There was a beautiful picture at Waterloo Records. You walk in and you see Betty Davis. Who was Betty Davis? She was the wife of Miles Davis for about 1.5 years. She was a funk master, put out 3 powerful albums that inspired the Ohio Players and inspired Lakeside and inspired a whole wave of funk masters. And what is it about the funk? Real. It's raw. But it's the very thing that enables you to come to terms with the catastrophe. And that's one of the problems of our political discourse. When you talk about the history of capitalism, the history of white supremacy, the history of male supremacy, and so forth, there's never been a race problem in America. There's been catastrophes visited upon black people. And if you reduce catastrophe to a problem, you will end up with a discourse about diversity rather than a discourse about justice. I defend the DEI, but I know it was a bureaucratic construct that tried to sanitize and sterilize what it meant to be excluded with vicious white supremacists and male supremacists. To our precious brown brothers and sisters, Latino brothers and sisters, somehow always try to not just degrade, not just demean, but to keep us afraid. And I come from a tradition that says every generation, some of us would rather be a corpse than a cow. Oh, yes. Brother Martin King used to say, I'd rather be dead than afraid. Daddy King, his father, told me a story one time. He said, Brother West, one of the lowest moments of my life before Martin's funeral was when he was in a paddy wagon for 4.5 hours, driven from ATL, A-Town, Atlanta to Reedsville Prison. He was in the dark. It was just Brother Martin and a German shepherd in the dark for 4.5 hours. And when Brother Martin got out of that police paddy wagon, he could not walk a straight line. All he could say, this is the cross we must bear for the freedom of our people. That's what Leonard Peltier is saying right now. That's what Mumia Abu Jamal is saying right now. That's what H. Rap Brown is saying right now. This is the cross we must bear for the freedom of our people. But as a blues people, you say, I'll bear this cross. I'll carry this cross. I'll even die on the cross. But the catastrophe in the cross will not have the last word, because the tradition of resistance and resilience, the tradition of oppressed people is such that even in the face of the vicious genocide, look at the dignity of our Palestinian brothers and sisters. Still captain, still elegant, still dignified, still fighting, still resisting, still resilient. Yes, and that is a human affair. The Irish did it against 800 years of British colonialism. Yes, the Filipinos did it against Spanish and American colonialism. It's a choice any human being can make. That was beautiful. And because America, with its claim to innocence that hides its violence, has been one in which when we come alive, and especially the Black freedom movement as a catalyst for a whole host of others, then it's a new day. Then you authorize a different future that people can't see. And that's exactly where we are. And if we can't catalyze, organize, create a capacity to present accountability force against the capitalist greed. But I have another fossil fuels trying to bring it into the planet. It could be the land grab and the power grab that they sanitize and call gentrification. It ain't nothing but just a land grab and a power grab to push out working people and poor people in the name of more profits with a corrupt real estate industry obsessed with more money. So we say, no, we shall be in solidarity with those. And see, in my own personal case, it has a lot to do with my Jewish brothers and sisters who wrote the Hebrew scripture that dished out into the world the spreading of a hesed, of a loving kindness and a steadfast love to the orphan and the widow and the fatherless and the motherless and the vulnerable and the oppressed and the subjugated. How human it is that a people who've been terrorized and traumatized for 2,000 years themselves can now terrorize and traumatize another people. We've seen that cycle over and over again. Don't let anybody tell you to stand in solidarity and have a deep love with Palestinians that somehow you are anti-Jewish. No, get off the crack pipe. We're concerned about anybody who's suffering, anybody who's oppressed, anybody who's dominated, anybody who's occupied. It's a moral and a spiritual witness. Very important. They're going to lie anyway, but we just want to be clear. And I want to say this and sit down. I want to acknowledge now we've got signatures that we need here in Texas. And I see my dear brother right in the corner, right there. There he is. There they are. You go. When you come, if you leave and if you want to, if you so choose, please sign. Because we want to be on the ballot in Texas. We're already on the ballot in Alaska. That was my first state, Alaska. Isn't that something? Alaska looks more like the National Hockey League than it does the National Basketball Association. But I love my vanilla brothers and sisters up there. Therefore, universal basic income, I am, because I'm an abolitionist. I want to abolish poverty. I want to abolish homelessness and unhoused. I want to abolish corporate greed. I want to end mass incarceration. Never punishment. It all looks like what they have in Norway and Finland. You have rehabilitation, restoration, and education. We don't need solitary confinement. We don't need torture. Those are crimes against humanity too. But I won't go into all the policies. You can see that. But I do want to say this in terms of solidarity. So very crucial. There was a brother who used to play the piano in Miles Davis's quintet. His name was Bill Evans. He had co-trained on the saxophone. He had some great artists on the other instruments. Bill was a white brother, wasn't he? Vanilla brother. But Miles Davis was the most unapologetically black musician that you can have up to Dead Prez. And I love me some Dead Prez. Them brothers big, man. Oh, give it up for them. Give it up for them. But Bill Evans was never a white ally for Miles. See, he didn't say, Train, play your solo, brother. You sounded so good. Oh, good God. Now we're going to turn to the white ally to play his solo. No. Bill Evans was in the band. He earned it. They trusted him. Don't fetishize with color, gender, or sexual orientation. Be true to the Palestinian movement. Those who constantly, week after week after week, shut down the Golden Gate Bridge, shut down Brooklyn Bridge. Whoever's doing that is in the band. They can be white, they can be Jewish, they can be Catholic, they can be Lithuanian, whatever. And once we have that, we then a substantive to the power. If that threat is a compliment, it means that all of our compassion, all of our willingness to empty ourselves and leave the world a little better than we found it is having some powerful effect on the organized greed, the organized hatred, and the organized indifference to those who are suffering. I want to thank you all for coming out. I know it's a hot day here in Austin, Texas. But just know that, oh, yeah, somebody got the horn. Oh, play the horn. Play that horn, yeah. Oh, yeah. But just know that before the campaign, all the way through the end of the campaign, we make it to the White House. I'm not going to the White House. With the elimination of poverty and the elimination of unhousedness. I just authorized $200 billion for B-21 bombers. You imagine what that money could do for quality education? Ought to be free. Medicare ought to be free. Can you imagine what that would do for access to safe communities where the police are under civic oversight, community control, so they're not engaging in police brutality on the black and brown side of town, but nice, protect, and serve on the vanilla well-to-do part of town? Yes, that's the kind of vision that we have. And that's the kind of impact we can have if we stay. Well, y'all do a better job than that. Make some noise for Dr. Cornel. Once again, we just say before we close, man, I know we're going to take some pictures and stuff like that. But if you would like to make a donation today, and once again, remember, I don't care if it's a penny, but if we can do something consistently on a monthly basis, this is going to be really, really of benefit to Dr. West and his campaign to be successful, okay? So I have some cards up here, all right? I have some cards. Please get these cards from me, all right? Once again, please make some noise for Dr. Cornel West, the next president of the United States of America. Make some noise. This is the president that we want right here. Thank you all so much.
We have solidarity in the face of catastrophe. Let us march together. Let us fight together. Let us laugh together. Let us dance together. Let us smile together. Let us cry together. We will not allow the organized greed to have the last word. Love supreme or love supreme.
Takes tremendous discipline, takes tremendous courage to think for yourself, to examine yourself. That Socratic imperative of examining yourself requires courage. You know, William Butler Yeats used to say, it takes more courage to examine the dark corners of your own soul than it does for a soldier to fight on the battlefield. Courage to think critically. Courage is the enabling virtue for any philosopher, for any human being, I think, in the end.
People to carry out nonviolent civil disobedience. A couple of dozen people linked arms and were arrested.
Princeton University professor Cornel West was one of 19 people arrested on the steps of the U.S. Supreme Court during a protest against money in politics.
You're joking!
Are you denying us access to a public building?
And we here because we want to keep the family center stage.
Whiteness can't be reduced to white supremacy. You got a whole lot of white brothers and sisters fighting against white supremacy. We got a choice between neo-fascists like Brother Trump or milquetoast neoliberals like Brother Biden. Wow, well, I'm so happy to make a world-shaking decision. You know what I mean?
You almost agreed with me.
No, not at all.
See, your solar plexus winds towards my direction.
No,
I got it wrong.
All right.
You got to come back more often. We miss you.
Democrats feeding the Republicans, the Republicans feeding the Democrats, and yet poor people, working people, finding themselves pushed to the margins. I believe a Palestinian baby has the same value as an Israeli baby. We have to have people who are in solidarity, who get beyond their petty differences and be able to hold hands symbolically and literally and fight by straightening your backs up. Need you to be part and parcel of wrestling with this corporate duopoly, this two-party system that impedes, it gets in the way of the unleashing of the kind of policies of abolishing poverty and homelessness, of dealing with working wages, cutting back on militarism, and most importantly, trying to ensure that the best of who we are as a people can be more manifest, can be more concrete, because the crisis is real and these catastrophes are bombarding us. Please, come join us.
I'm voting, we're voting.
Cornel West.